this makes Washington look pretty feckless, right? Because one of two things is true. Either Donald Trump did not want this to happen, wanted Steve Witkoff to go there this weekend, and Israel bombed Iran and killed the person that was overseeing those negotiations with Steve Witkoff, or Donald Trump, when he went to the Gulf Arabs a few weeks ago, lied to them in saying that he wanted an Iran deal. Neither of those is a particularly good look for the United States. Either we're being duplicitous about matters as important as whether or not we're seriously pursuing a diplomatic deal, or we're just being ignored by Bibi Netanyahu, who went ahead with a military strike over the objections of Donald Trump on the eve of really important nuclear talks. Either way, I don't think we're a trustworthy partner for people in this region around the world. And that's my concern for U.S. interests. Beyond what could happen in the Middle East, this could go right or it could go wrong. We don't know. We'll have to see. But for the U.S., it just kind of feeds into this notion that the chaos and the violence around the world that Donald Trump said he was going to end, whether it's in Gaza or Iran or Ukraine, has just gotten worse since Donald Trump has taken office.
You know, this is such an important point, because the reality of the situation is the negotiations, they needed to take place in order to get some kind of deal. And I think it's important for people to understand that the last time the United States was able to negotiate a nuclear deal with Iran, it took not just months, it took years. And we're supposed to believe that Steve Witkoff, the mogul, the business mogul, can come in less than 6 months and negotiate another nuclear deal. I am kind of blown by that. But as we stated, I know as Andrea brought up, the president has said he thinks the talks should continue. But you know, Iranian state media and the Oman News Agency are reporting that officials from Iran say that the talks are now suspended, that they are not happening. So now there's no conversation, no deal, and chaos. Mr. Ambassador, what is...
You couldn't have said it any better, Simone. The fact remains is that Witkoff, to his credit and to the credit of those in the administration, came up with an ingenious idea. They were going to try to convince the Iranians that they could continue to enrich uranium outside of Iran, and what was going to be some sort of consortium arrangement that the administration was trying to sell with the Gulf states. Okay? The supreme leader said at the beginning of these talks, no way, Jose, we are never going to export our uranium enrichment program to another territory under the supervision of other countries. The administration came back and said, we need you to agree to this. And the supreme leader said no. 2 times he said no, 3 times he's out. And in the meantime, while these negotiations were going on, the intelligence information that I have from Israeli sources is that the Iranians had continued to really rush to try to get to a point where their enrichment was now able to become an ignition, a system that could be ignited onto a bomb. And the Israeli intelligence, which had been operating through the Mossad in Iran for some time, came to Netanyahu and to the American government and said, we have run out of time. And it's just also convenient that Benjamin Netanyahu survived a no confidence motion and can therefore not be blamed, so to speak, by his own people for going to war with Iran in order to preserve his coalition.
Well, let me just pick up a thread here, because I think Ben is absolutely right. My information has been that on his last visit, Netanyahu came to Washington to get the go-ahead for U.S. air cover for Israeli special forces operations to go after the nuclear facilities in Iran, including Fordo, the underground operation.
That's proactively, or if Iran retaliates?
No, proactively, for a strike. And that, to his dismay, in the very trip where he came here seeking the green light for a very different operation than the one that took place, the president, in his presence, in front of the cameras in the Oval Office, as he is wont to do, announced, wouldn't it be a good idea to have direct talks with Iran? Direct talks, not the indirect talks, direct talks. And Netanyahu was completely, angry, dismayed, rejected. I mean, he came here under the cover of talking about tariffs, but it was really to get approval for a major joint operation. And in the interim, of course, the president did his Gulf trip, bypassing Israel significantly and getting sign-on for the continued negotiations to try to come up with a deal with Iran on the nuclear piece. What Netanyahu has never wanted is negotiations on a nuclear deal. Not when Obama tried it, he went to Congress. He got the speaker, the Republican speaker, remember, to, insulting the White House by, well, you were there, you know all about that. I mean, that was just
crazy.
A mess. So
So do you
Netanyahu
think-
came here and campaigned against the nuclear deal. I covered all of that. And we were, as you point out, it took years. We were in, all over Switzerland.
I mean, Ben was in it, Michael. He was in it.
So I was going to dovetail on that. We got less than a minute left on this, Ben. But to the points that Andrew was making. So do you think, in light of that visit by Netanyahu with Trump and how that unfolded, Netanyahu went, you know what? I got this. We're just going to take it and we're going to do it our way.
Right.
And now there's a little bit of cleanup on aisle 9 on the back end to sort of say who was in or not in the conversation. What's your take about that reporting?
100% it's cleanup on aisle 9. And look, with all due respect, Mark, the Iranians have a long way to go to weaponization. They have to get enough fuel, then they have to weaponize it, they have to miniaturize it, they have to put it on a warhead. That was not going to happen in a few weeks. They did not have to do this before Steve Witkoff went there in 2 days because of any intelligence. And so what I think happened is Netanyahu wanted to do this. He did not want there to be a deal between the United States and Iran negotiated by Donald Trump. He did not want to take the risk that would happen. He wanted to take the shot. He's wanted to take this shot for years. And he did this over the objections of the American administration. And Donald Trump took a look at that and was like, well, I can do two things. I can either get on board with this, or I can say that I was against this. And now he's trying to pretend like this is something he wanted to do when he didn't want to do it. And he's not up to these challenges. He said he would end the war in Ukraine on day one. That war escalated. He said he would end the war in Gaza. That war has escalated. He said he would prevent this war in Iran. Now we're in a war between Israel and Iran. That's what's happening. And he's just not up to dealing with the complexities of these challenges.